Hey guys, in the Carnage workshop today, and we've been doing some cleanup, and in amongst all that we tripped over this old barrow block which has been sitting here for a little while. You may remember it from Turbo Taxi. So we get asked a bunch of questions obviously on the YouTube channel, and two of the biggest are, when's the next video coming? Soon. It's always soon. And the other is, what's happening with Turbo Taxi? So what's happening with Turbo Taxi at the moment, it is getting a brand new transmission from Preston's Automatics. That will be done in the next couple of days. So we'll be out there again with Turbo Taxi, hopefully into the 10s. So let's delve down into the history of Turbo Taxi. When we bought the car, it had a rod knock, so I still haven't pulled that engine apart to see what was wrong with that. And then we bought a $200 FG petrol motor just to drop in it for a short time, just to see how to go. And that car, that engine ended up going, you know, like 12.0, which not too bad. Then we decided we were going to get serious, put a LPG motor in it. Now I bought a BF Ute as a parts car and robbed the LPG motor from that, which turned out to be a bit of an error, because there is a lot of differences between the BF and the FG. One of the major is the dipstick tube. Instead of being here on the FG, on the rear, on the BF it's at the front. So, which doesn't sound like much of a problem, except the sump is different. And with the sump being different, so is the girdle down here. So there's so many differences so we had to actually, when I did the changeover, I actually had to change this girdle inside the sump as well as the sump. So I had to change the girdle so it would fit the FG sump, and obviously we had to modify the FG sump for the turbo drain back and all that sort of stuff. But this engine ended up going 11.01 before Mr. Rod exited both sides of the block. So it's got a hole in this side, you can see quite large, and a slightly smaller hole in this side. So a whole bunch of people have asked me to delve into this engine and pull the rest of it down. Now when we pulled, like that piston came out originally, it just fell out of it basically. It had a lot of wear around the ring area, it had a lot of detonation and melting on it, and pretty much we consider that one of the injectors, so there's two injectors every cylinder, one of the injectors died on that cylinder, leaned it out and killed that piston. And that's why piston melted, come apart, rod unsupported, exited both sides of the block, tried to go down through the sump but didn't make it. So that's what we reckon happened. But a lot of people have asked me to pull the rest of the pistons out to see if that is the case. They want to see if there's any signs of melting around the ring lands and stuff on the other pistons. So I figure we're down here, why not? Why not pull the rest of the pistons out and have a look? Now if you ever looked at a barrow motor before, you can see there's a lot of strengthening ribs. I mean, this is a bare naked barrow short block at the moment, so normally they'd have big long head on them, twin cams, big timing chain set up and all that sort of stuff. So here you're seeing it bare naked. So what I'll do is I'll roll it over, but you can see, if you look in here and see where it's really torn the cylinder wall right open. A lot of damage, and also you can see on the other side, if you come around this side, have a look down, you'll see where it's really ripped open the bottom side of the cylinder. So we'll roll her over. Okay. So here's what I was talking about before with that crank girdle, mains girdle, whatever you want to call it. It's not really substantial, it's just basically a piece of heavy gauge sheet metal that ties all the main caps together. Now you can buy from places like XR6 Turbo Developments. They make one that's like about, you know, 8 to 10 mil thick, which again stiffens that whole area up. Yeah, but you can see where the rod has actually tried to exit What actually punched through that part, and also tried to punch through where the oil pickup is here, and you can see the oil pickup has taken the brunt of the impact. So it's tried to come down straight through there, and it's twisted up the oil pickup. So being an FG, sumps at the rear, BABF, sumps at the front. So that's kind of your main way of telling FG apart from BABF. And it really helps to stick with the same engine family. Don't do what we did. Don't buy a BF motor like this and stick it in FG. You can do it, but it is so painful that you might as well just go buy an FG motor in the first place. Anyway, that's enough of me yabbering about that. Let's pull some of this off. Okay, so there's not going to be much finesse here. All this stuff is junk, so I'm just going to rip into it and throw everything over here. Bit of Ryobi power. So this was a dead stock BF LPG engine, all right? You can see where Uncle Rodney came calling. And when Rodney comes calling, yeah, you want to get out of the way. Make a big old mess. So I figure, why don't we talk to Uncle Rodney right there. Woohoo! That's jammed in there. Oh, man, it has beaten up that rod nut right there. Look at him, smashed him up big time. Okay, it's not really liking that. Man, it's so beaten up. It's crazy. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. Wow. It's taken some force. Well, it's not really a lack of, it's not really force when you think about it. The piston come apart first. So the pistons come apart. And then, you know, it's done it at probably the best part of 6,000 RPM. And then the rod not being supported has done a massive tank slapper inside the bore. And yeah, that's the result. Still, yeah. It was not happy. Our bearing's not looking too flash either. So yeah, bearing, it's not, there's no real grooves in it. It's just wear marks, but yeah, it's not ultra happy. So I'll be interested to see what the others look like. But now that's gone.
How many kilometres are on this,
Yeah, so this motor had 360,000 kilometres before we started on it. So it was a well-worn engine when we started. So the engine that we put in the taxi most recently has got, you know, like 100,000 or thereabouts. So it's in a lot better nick. And a full set of working injectors. So now the rest of these rod bolts I should be able to get to now. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you're out, you're out. All right. So a bit of wear, but no real detonation marks on the pistons, or that piston anyway. So no detonation mark that I can see. You can see they run a fairly thin ring compared to most old style engines. Coating on the skirts has worn away a bit, but I wouldn't say there's any real sign of melting like there was on the other one. Yeah. Okay, so again, no real detonation marks. You can see there's a fair bit of gunk on top here because it's been sitting in the workshop for quite a while. But I can tell you, it has broken a ringland, if you can see that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's broken the ringland there, and I reckon there. There you go. She smashed a fair chunk of ringland out of that piston. So that was number 6. And another one. Look at that. What are we? 3 out of 6 so far. So, ooh.
That's bent.
Mr. Rodney, a bit bent too, probably because it's actually lost a fair chunk of piston there. So which one was this? Number 5. So that's what it should look like, and that's what it looks like. So a fair chunk of piston skirt has come away there, which is not great, and you can see some definite wear and heat into the piston. You can see where the ring's actually broken there, and deformation of the ringland. Like, yeah, this thing was not happy. Not happy at all. So if it hadn't been for number 4, number 5 was very close behind. Wow. Yeah. There we go. That is one big ass crank. Well, there you are. You get a nice good view in there on that that bore. It smashed this entire area away here, and then taken a chunk out of this side as well. But yeah, there's a good inch of bore that's been chewed out there, as well as a massive hole on that side, and then a chunk out of there. So there you have it. Our engine had some had a couple issues. So number 4 and number 5. Number 5 was about to go, so number 4 definitely gone. Number 5 worries me because we haven't changed those injectors, but we have lost you know, over the course of that engine or this engine, we've lost at least 6 injectors on this engine. So at any one of those times, we could have leaned it out and hurt it. Obviously, very much hurt it on that run. Broke piston, broke rod, all bad. But yeah, that piston also gone, which, well, certainly severely damaged, and broken ring lands on a few pistons as well. So, was it very worn and broken when we put it in? Who knows? It always was a bit fumey. Yeah, you never can tell. It did have 360,000 Ks, so had a lot of use. Probably more Ks than we should have been throwing boost at, but it is one of those things. Lessons learnt. But anyway, that one is for the bin. Okay, so Turbo Taxi. A lot of people have been asking when we're going to see a new episode, and pretty much I'm only going to do a new episode when it runs 10s. So it's going to be probably a bit of a giveaway, you know, in that when we do the episode, if you see it, you'll know there's a 10-second pass in there somewhere. Well, that's the way we're planning it. So at the moment, it's getting its transmission, Preston's automatics. I'm waiting their call any moment actually, so we can go pick it up and race it. We're going to probably race it within a week or so of us filming this. So hopefully she'll go 10s at that. Brand new auto, you know, because last time we took it out, well, all right, you'll see this in the video, but it has run 11.1 in its most recent runs. So it's been very close, and then the transmission we put in, it just went away. So that's why we're putting a new trans in it, because we are so close. This thing is gonna go 10s. 10s on LPG. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And to be honest, no one is doing it. As far as we know, no one has taken an FG taxi and made it run 10s on LPG. So obviously there's been a few guys take a taxi and put them on E85 and go 10s and that sort of thing. E85 makes things very easy, as you will see with our AU. But on LPG, a lot harder. So yeah, hopefully we can make that happen very soon. Anyway, catch you next time.